Who holds the duty of care in the dangerous tackle? Hawthorn tests the limits in a bid to free captain Jai Newcombe for opening rounds.
Geelong gather the troops as availability becomes clear for the trip to the Gold Coast. Captain Patrick Dangerfield joins us.
And new Brisbane leader Josh Dunkley takes his place in the 360 family as the Lions set themselves for a crack at the three-peats.
I said to the players today, can you help me? I'm on 360 tonight.
Are you aware of that conversation?
Yeah, I don't live under a rock.
The reality is now that the gloves are off, ball's fair and love more.
My job is pretty clear. Make Hawthorn win.
Wouldn't be very good at hide and seek pitch, I reckon.
Marco Polo.
Marco.
I can't have that.
What do you want us to play worse?
When you caught my eye and Mustang.
I reckon it's just about the greatest prize that's ever happened in footy.
First round look at it, she said, there's a dent in that cup. And I had a bit of a look and sure enough there is.
2 nights to go. Garry Lyon, did you have a beer with Ray Chamberlain in the off-season to sort out your relationship?
Do you think I did, Gerard?
I'm going to guess no.
No, I did not, but I'm looking forward to seeing the champ when he comes in here. He's all fired up, I'm sure.
All right, hostilities are about to be renewed on a few fronts. Sydney is the centre of all attention. Let's just take a glimpse through the rectangle window here at the SCG. Charlie Curnow is commanding the sort of attention that key forwards always have done in the Harbour City. This is a hand-picked opening night to really fuel the hostility of the man who walked out on his former club.
I know, and then all the narrative around it was that he wanted to go down to Geelong and get to Torquay, get out of the spotlight. Well, guess what? There's nowhere to hide Thursday night, SCG, with your old mob coming to town. So I think it adds a beautiful bit of spice to it all. I'm not sure that Hayward and Ollie Florin are feeling the same way.
No.
They'll be enjoying the prospect of taking on their own teammates. But
how personal should it be?
It should be personal, no doubt. But I just went through that Geelong team. There's no Reece Jones, there's no Jimmy Buckley, there's no Val Perovic in there. I'll give you the tip right now. The best I could come up with was the captain, Patrick Cripps. And he will set a standard, there's no doubt about it. But they know him well. They know what buttons to pull. It might be verbal rather than physical, Gerard, but I'd be disappointed if they aren't in his ear right from the opening bounce.
There has to be a moment.
I don't want to see cuddles. I don't want to see smiles and cuddles. If I sit down in front of the TV and watch that, if I was a Carlton fan, I'd be bitterly disappointed with that. I want to see some attitude to Charlie.
All right, so Sydney training tonight. Carlton went through their final warm-up this morning, and a couple of the youngsters, as Michael Voss had to tell them before he told us last night.
Fair enough too.
Jagger Smith and Harry Dean are going to make their debut, and Jacob Wiedering evidently got through training, and we fully expect him to be on the team sheet when it lands tomorrow. Yeah,
so everything the Carlton fans want to see when you're turning over Charlie Curnow, you need to see the next big thing come through, and Jagger Smith might be that. We don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he did that himself with a 37, 38 possession game. And this kid here might quietly become just as important as the games wear on. We know I played a lot of footy against Peter Dean, and he was an outstanding footy player, and they just love the way he's composed, the way that he's competitive and combative, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Charlie Curnow at some stage in his first game. It's going to be great.
A lot to look forward to.
I know. In fact, he is the sort of personality that I don't think I'm not saying they'll set him for him, but if he finds himself next to him, he looks like the kind of kid to me that'll say, come on, let's get into this first contest.
All right, that's opening round as it shapes up. And the first fair is Sydney and Carlton. Tonight, a couple of captains, Patrick Dangerfield preparing for the fresh season. You spent a lot of time with at Origin. Josh Dunkley, what a time in his life.
Yeah.
Premierships, engaged, now captain, and joining us.
I wonder where it sits. He's got a lot of inspirational Paddy Dangerfield about him, Josh Dunkley, I reckon.
Yeah. And then after us, it's sort of the last plank of premiership glory is the Fox doco, the Fox Footy doco. So it goes to where it'll tell you the story of how the Lions did it with the theme Run Towards the Fire. So there's much to revel in tonight with the key figures from that.
Very quickly, have they got 3 in them?
Yep.
Yeah, damn straight they have.
Whether it's 3 in a row or 3 over 4, I think they've got another one in them.
I think so too.
All right, tonight's major footy news revolves around the tribunal. The first time of asking. Hawthorn is desperate to have its captain, Jai Newcombe, against the Giants on Saturday in the twilight. It's a dangerous tackle suspension that was handed down. And get your each-way tickets ready for the verdict that's come down. For the 4th straight year, Gaz, David Zita is going to sit through every minute at every tribunal
He loves
case.
it, Gerard. You don't want to be anywhere else right now. At some stage, you have to be somewhere else, but right now, he's where he wants to be.
David, welcome back.
I'll tell you, it's pretty alarming that I'm approaching 30. My longest relationship's been with the AFL Tribunal, but that's where we're
It hasn't been lost on us either,
Thank you,
Skeeter.
Gary. Yeah, very
Righto,
nice.
what happened tonight?
Well, the AFL Tribunal, in good news for the Hawks, Jai Newcombe's ban, it hasn't been thrown out, it's been downgraded to a fine. So he will be playing against the Giants in opening round, his first game as co-captain. Now, this was a relatively straightforward case, you would think. So the Hawks came into this arguing, like so many clubs have, that this isn't careless, it's not rough conduct, and that if it is, it's not medium impact as it was graded, it should be low impact. Now, interestingly, it was the second argument, the impact argument, that gets up. We don't see that happen much in these cases, but the Hawks said this was entirely reasonable in the circumstances. They tried to put the onus on Ed Richards and say that he really should have dropped the ball, even if it meant giving away a free kick to try and protect himself. That argument didn't hold too much sway with the tribunal, but the argument that did hold sway with them was about impact. Now, the tribunal came back after, it must be said, because we give them a lot of flack for how long they take. It was probably the quickest one I can remember, just over an hour it took. And they came back and found that it is a dangerous tackle, but it is low impact. There was no injury and absolutely no expression of pain or discomfort or distress from Ed Richards, according to the tribunal chair, Jeff Gleeson. And the majority of force goes through Ed Richards' hip and shoulder, rather before the head hits the ground. There was an incident with Mason Redmond and Finn O'Sullivan from a previous year that was used, and that was graded low impact. The tribunal said this was the same level, if not less than that. So impact is what wins the day here for the Hawks. Jai Newcombe free to play against the Giants.
Pay to play. It's a big result for the Hawks. So just a couple of the elements here, Gaz, is we couldn't have had a finding that Ed Richards needed to drop the ball and reach out here. That would have changed the paradigm entirely on the duty of care and the dangerous tackle.
They've arrived at, for them, the perfect result. And when we saw it on the night, we suggested that it won't go because the contact didn't appear to be that severe, and that's where they found it in the end. So, yeah, the alternative was just not palatable at all. Put the onus on Ed Richards to throw the ball away just so he can protect himself. Then the game changes if that's the result. So, yeah, like it or not, they've got themselves out of a pickle here.
The murky territory for the duration of the year now is when to apply the potential to cause injury or not. So this is literally low.
Yeah.
So you look at it and go, that's low impact. But the way that this has been graded for a couple of years now has been this could have resulted in concussion or a heavier knock or concussion. So it's been upgraded to medium. And for the most part, that's been upheld along the way. And tonight it's reduced as we enter the season. I feel like at the start of last year, they made a blunder with the dangerous push, and it took about 16 weeks to fully correct itself, and then the alteration was made in the rules. It's just a murky area. Of course, this is low impact. And in this case, they haven't used the potential to cause injury. Where do they use it and where do they not?
Well, I would argue, without wanting to make this a long segment, that Sam Durham had the potential to cause injury. So it is the potential to cause injury, and it can't go to the next level unless the head hits the ground. That's where it sits.
Yeah,
right.
so it's only a reportable offence if the head hits the ground.
Is that right?
Yep.
Mate, do you think that's right?
Yes, it is.
So you can do everything, and again, I'm not trying to get Sam Durham suspended because he's off and he's free to play, so good on him. But that had every chance to cause injury.
Yep.
Every chance. The action, the double grab, the throw to the ground, it was arguably more chance of him causing injury than Jai Newcombe. So the potential, if you want to throw potential to cause injury, then Sam Durham was had a much greater potential to cause injury than Jai Newcombe.
Yeah, it just has to be a reportable offence at the outset.
Yeah, I understand.
So we enter our year of tribunal debates.
We're off and racing.